Attention gamers. The other day as I was sitting in Champ Select, getting verbally harassed by some loser for picking Caitlyn mid in an unranked mode of a video game, I had a few thoughts. The first was that there are not enough dicks on this planet for me to accurately describe to this moron how many I would like him to suck. But then the second was the realization that this game really just doesn't feel the same to me anymore. It's like a heart that's no longer beating. It's like that smoke show chick in high school who got old, fat and ugly. It's like your favorite movie growing up randomly got turned into a compilation of memes to appeal to a generation of TikTokers. I'm not saying League of Legends is dying, as I quite frankly have no clue how it's performing since Riot hides its active player counts as well as it hides its sexual harassment lawsuits, but what I am saying is that League of Legends is dying for me, and today I'm going to talk you through in one of these sloppy video rant essays why I feel that way. This all started a few weeks ago as I just finished a 10-day panda-themed bender getting this hunk of a honey bear ready for raid. Nothing in League can get me to severely sleep-deprive myself for over a week, quite like a re-release of an old version of World of Warcraft, but I did it all. The grind of leveling, getting the best gear, and taming the rarest pet, an ostrich that I named Gay because he just looks so happy all the time. And now it was time to go back to the reality that I have to start making League videos again. And that's when it hit me, Writer's Block YouTube edition. What idea was there in League that hasn't been done? What was something hype going on with the game? What new shiz was Riot doing to attract new players to the game? Let's just start by talking about sponsorships and collabs. Something that nearly all other big games are taking advantage of, sponsoring content creators, and working with other brands to bring in fresh audiences. Fork Knife has done this incredibly well, but there's other games that are catching on and doing it even better. Probably the biggest video game collab with a media giant is going on right now, and League players should push Riot to be trying to do similar things. Everyone has obviously heard of Raid Shadow Legends from its ads and sponsorships, aka actually investing in trying to get new players, but after 5 years it's still innovating on ways to make its game fresh with things that have never been done before. Have you heard of Paramount? What about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Yeah, Raid literally partnered with them in a wild crossover and created all of the Ninja Turtles as playable legendary champions in the game. Can you imagine if you could play a Demacian Donatello? Riot would never, but Raid just did, as literally starting August 21st they are letting anyone unlock Michelangelo just by logging in for 7 days. Then there's a bunch of other ways to unlock the other Ninja Turtles, from fusing Donatello to summoning Leonardo Raphael Shredder with challengers and exclusive gear sets. You can't argue that crossovers like this are a fantastic way to bring new life and new players into the game, and something else you don't see Riot doing is giving new players free stuff, like how using my QR code or link below will get you a starter pack with Tayrel and Epic Champion, with another reward after reaching level 15 as you'll get Epic Rector Drath. Not to mention they just give away tons of stuff with promo codes, like for 48 hours you can enter one of these to get legendary champions. So even though I used a raid ad to make my point about Riot not trying hard enough, I'd still invite you to try their game and thank them for sponsoring my content. And like that, we're back. Sorry, my bra was in need of some singles shoved down it, since YouTube's automated systems ironically flagged my channel as being mass-produced with no human intervention, and God forbid Riot implements a creator code or literally any reward for creators to make hundreds of videos generating millions of views for their game. But I'm just being a greedy bitch at this point, when the real point I want to make is, what is Riot Games doing today to attract new players to their game?
Nothing!
Without new players, the community becomes more stale and toxic than the piss-ridden still water in Chernobyl's basement. But if I'm keeping it real, I'm cool with the toxicity. If you want to come home from a shitty job, boss is a douchebag, the work is mundane, you don't have the tits to sell nudes online like your friends, and you just want to kick back, drink some poison with red dye 40 in it, and tell some 12-year-old on a video game to go scuba diving in a shit-filled septic tank.
You lose!
That's a form of therapy as far as I see it, but the fact that this game can take me from a good Friday night mood to wanting to physically harm the asshole who pinged that he was gonna go in and then proceeded to path up river like a dipshit while I get Eiffel Towered by 2 sped apes who were otherwise were getting gapped and now get to watch me spiral mentally out of fucking control. The game's stale as I feel like Uncle Rito has gotten cocky. League is an e-sport, but they are treating it like a real sport by refusing to make any big changes, because I'm sure there's a quote of a suit at Riot saying some bullshit about the competitive environment of professional play or some shit. And since we are playing on Cheetos under a couch cushion for weak staleness, there's almost no idea from a content perspective that's not been done anymore. I'm obviously biased towards League of Legends in terms of its content potential, so when I say League is dying, what that means to me is League content and the potential of League content. And as someone who is on the supply side of that economics graph, my creative process usually includes checking a few places for inspiration. I check Reddit first, which is increasingly becoming a waste of time as the whole page is just spoiler 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 all pro play nonsense that is more boring than daytime television. Question for the audience: is it still considered a spoiler if I don't give a whopping shit about what's behind it? I think the League subreddit should be rebranded to League Esports, and then the main subreddit should be about the game itself, not boring ass pro play moderated by a bunch of power hungry tit attached vampires who only get their vitamin D from the packs of Sunny D their mommy brings home from work as they stay far away from the sun down in the basement. Once I strike out there, I look to other content creators and their channels for ideas. Yes, I flat out steal other people's ideas that are working. I look at a bunch of channels, and if any channel has a video that has a lot more views than the other videos on that channel in the last week, I ask myself why and can I copy this but do it with my own style. If the answer is yes, then there's my video. If any virtue signaler wants to get butthurt about this, just know I'm not the first to do this. I'm just the first to admit it, and if anyone wants to start on YouTube today, I would recommend doing just that. But let's look at the creators who I used to watch for League, and I'm not talking about on Twitch. Twitch streams are purely there for background noise on a second monitor while people are at work. The only people watching the low-effort slop on Twitch actively are parasocial kids or losers jerking off to literal 4 out of 10 sitting on see-through chairs because Twitch looks less sus than Pornhub in a browser history, and they are too dumb to learn how to clear cache on their mommy's work laptop. But in terms of YouTubers, here's who I used to watch and what has happened to them. Bunny Fufu was the king when I started. Hundreds of thousands of views on daily uploads, multiple channels making millions of dollars a year. Since then he's gotten into the porn industry, got in trouble with Riot, failed at launching multiple channels that have actual creative ideas, and then fallen back to his roots, getting a fraction of the views he used to get. Glacier used to be big, as well as the Garen One Trick, which should tell you everything you need to know about this dipshit, but one thing you probably don't know is that he and I scheduled multiple collabs a few years back, and he fucking slept through the time we set to record on every occasion. Anyways, he tried to brand change to Pokemon Go and then just stopped uploading. Scotch, who was similar in style to me, quit making League content entirely, and now it looks like he does a bunch of modded Mario IP on his channel. Donkey was before my time, but he lives on as the only legend to escape League and survive to tell the story. Magikarp used to make the most inspiring guides, but quickly learned that putting effort into League of Legends content is absolutely a worthless waste of his time. Bricky said fuck League and plays different games. Happy Chime Noises, who was responsible for tons of people first time dumbass ideas in ranked, barely uploads anymore. Outside Joke is running out of fun facts about League, and Ross Boonsocks, who used to make high effort League content, learned that it was a route to burnout and went to full games down to different games altogether on his channel. Tyler One would rather play shitting beat 'em up games now, as his more viewed videos aren't even about this game. Pianta, who is the absolute goat, saw his biggest spike in monthly views when he stopped editing his videos and went through a lazy streamer arc, only to come back to putting his own effort back into editing, but at a fraction of the views he once pulled. Swag, the king of the YouTube algorithm and knowing exactly what you little League guppies will eat up, is seeing drops in view counts across all 75 of his daily full gameplay upload channels. Heisman doesn't upload anymore, but does Panda it up with me still. Darkmane's view counts are suffering from trying to be a variety channel, and Tobias Fate, who I would argue has one of the best editors on the platform, doesn't even upload on his main channel anymore because edited videos just aren't worth it. Dante's content is basically ASMR IRL humping of stuffed animals, as his successes are typically unrelated to League, which leaves us to really only one creator who hasn't seen an absolute plummet in views on YouTube, and that's the Bouse, whose channel is just basically stream highlights. So if you think about it, there's not a single YouTube-focused brand/channel focused around creative ideas or heavily edited videos that has survived for more than a few years, because the game's stale as shit and every fun idea for a video has already been done 1,000 times. Midbeast and Nemesis had a valid conversation on Elon's slop forums about exactly this. League is either too balanced now that there's nothing crazy to try or talk about, Or it's just boring in that all the items do the same thing. There's nothing fun to play around anymore. Deathfire's Grasp, Gale Force, Twin Shadows, anything that did anything interesting has been gutted from the game, leaving just bland vanilla non-offensive copy-paste with different stats, and the result of that is less viewers are interested in watching videos and less creators are interested in making them. I'm not even going to get into how there are zero tools for creators like there are on other games, no ways to mod customs, take teams into practice tool to make up custom game modes, and the replay system is the buggiest piece of ass ever. The fact that you can't even swap the team colors in a replay leaves my jaw on the floor every time I think about it. If I want to show replay angles of my own game to add more cinematic angles and higher quality videos, and I'm in the blue team in my game, but the red team in the replay, and I get comments of people getting confused because the different POVs swap my team, it just infuriates the fuck out of me. Anyways, this rant wasn't to say that Riot fucked up or that I'm quitting League. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon of playing RuneScape like all the others, as I have no nostalgia factor tied to that game and it looks like absolute shit if I'm being honest. This video wasn't even an argument for why League is dying, but rather just voicing my own feelings about how, for me, someone who likes games for the content I can consume and supply, it's really just fading away. I could go on, but I already covered my raid talking points, which was the real goal here, and I'll try to find new inspirations for creative League video ideas, but this is your PSA that this shit is getting hard and I've been really scraping the bottom of the barrel lately trying to spin this shit to stay fresh lately. Curious how you all feel, so leave your own thoughts in the comments and I'll give them a read. Rav out.